What's up, everyone? Dehancer and Marone here. It's been a very long time. It honestly feels very weird to be sitting in front of the camera, like talking to y'all again. It's just been so long, and I miss talking to the camera like this and being interactive, and you know, it brings a sense of community. But today we have something different, very new, and let me give you a little backstory. Now, when I'm always on TikTok, because who isn't on TikTok besides those who aggressively say they're not on TikTok to be cool, because that's how I was a couple years ago until I started making TikToks of my own. But I'm now on the film talk of TikTok when you put hashtag film talk, and all I see is film emulation. Now, I'm not no hater, but typically I know I'm not the only one, but when I see everybody's doing something, I'm like, nah, I can't do it. But I like film emulation, but not because everybody else is doing it. Because when I think about classic films, or one of my favorite movies of all time, Scarface, a lot of classic films are filmed on filmed on film. Nowadays, everybody's using digital. Film is pretty rare unless you're doing photography or you have the finances to go ahead and buy a film camera in itself to use it, and also go get that scanned. I believe you can go to well, depending on your area, a place that actually exports film. I think it's called export. It's not export. See, I'm so used to digital, I mix it up. But it's like a place that scans it. There you go. A place that scans a lot of your footage when you have actual film running. But we don't do that nowadays. Typically, people like me, we just run and gun, get the camera, a digital camera, and we roll. But in most cases, everybody still wants to go for that film emulation look, or that film look. Now that I'm on TikTok with my video and videography type of content and filmmaking, I am now on, well, hashtag wise film talk. And while on film talk, a lot of times I see a lot of dope people making their own content, but with the film emulation, and it's taken over social media, and I'm all for it, just because I, like myself and other filmmakers, love the look of old school films. Today I'm going to talk about how I'm using Dehancer for this video to show how to get that film emulation effect. So what I decided with today's short film was that I'm going to go ahead and mix up the idea of the phone booth with the random conversation and put them in one, just because the person who was saying that was on the phone. So, you know, mixing ideas. And as a screenwriter myself, I've been looking into a lot of research and how to not really come up with ideas. This brain is always flowing with them, but to, instead of just having stuff sit on the shelf, to merge some ideas, and that's what we did today. Now in Final Cut, we're gonna go ahead and make a new project. Honestly, I'm gonna do an event because I don't wanna mix that up with my other short film. So we're gonna call this, we'll just call it Phone Booth. Is the footage I got today. I got some screen grabs that we can do some test footage with, but instead we're just gonna go straight to it and go straight to the short film. As I was filming this, I ended up finding the photo booth because at first I could not find it, and I was real life struggling trying to find it. And because of that, there was this guy, or not guy, an officer, who came and stopped by to see, you know, I'm setting up equipment, I'm setting up a couple of lights. I didn't bring a lot, but you're gonna sit back and it's pitch dark and you see somebody out with lights and lighting. He asked me what I was doing. So of course I was making a short film, and he said that I needed a permit. Luckily, he was a cool dude, let me film there. He asked me how much time I needed to be out there filming. I was like, I just need like 30 minutes. And he was like, all right, cool. So he closed the gate. He was on his merry way. So today I'm going to show you how to get that film emulation look using Dehancer. All right, now that we have Dehancer Pro Volume 2 installed, we're going to go ahead and start taking care of that. Well, I got very excited making this video. I am editing it now a couple weeks later, and I left out the important part, which is the steps to do so. Right here, you'll see once you go ahead and download it, there's like a quick little online manual of how you download it for, you know, whatever platform or software you end up using. Like I said, I use Final Cut, and yeah, it's a pretty simple process, and I'll let you get back to it. And future me, please stop rambling. Start doing scripts or something, because this is too much editing. With the steps provided in my little tutorial, we are going to get to the good old part, which is the film emulation. As you can see, the effects will be all the way on this side. After you download it, and it will pop up on the side saying film emulation, meaning that shows that we have Dehancer downloaded. So we're going to go ahead and drag and drop, and it shows all the things that you need to get this look. So like I said earlier, thoroughly read the setup PDF to get rid of the logo. You have to activate your 2-week license info to do that. Also, I missed it in the screen recording, but the screenshot provides a different option. It starts off with the source being Rec 709, but of course, what you want to end up doing is putting your camera settings. So the source is going to be the camera, then you have the vendor is Sony, camera FX30, and the format I believe is Sin Log. But go ahead and just use the settings that you have operated to your camera for the best quality. Now, personally, I do not know which files and everything and the type of look, the film-like look that I want to get for this. So I'm going to go ahead and just breeze through it and see what I like. This is a perfect time to tell you about EPIDEMIC Sound. Now, EPIDEMIC Sound has been something I've been using from day one. Not day one, that's a reach. But I've been using them for a long time, and I do love EPIDEMIC Sound as it has a bunch of different things you could use. You have sound effects. I believe that ranges from around 10,000 plus and more. It's the whole field, the whole 9. And when it comes to music, that's where I get a lot of my music from, like you're hearing in the back right now. The iconic, I'm going to use it every single time I talk about EPIDEMIC Sound. Wow, I believe by Nick B. If I said it wrong, you know who you are. I've talked about you a million times for the last year, and this is iconic for this segment. So if you want to go ahead and use the 30-day trial, go ahead and click the link in the description and go ahead and try that EPIDEMIC Sound. EPIDEMIC Sound, stop playing with me. Y'all gonna appreciate me one of these days. One of these days. All right, back to the video. It's supposed to be on Choose Camera, and we're using the FX30 because you know I talk about it every video. So we're gonna go to Sony. FX30 should definitely be on here. And yep, center line, FX30. Format, we always use S-Log3. And in this case, I use 800. Now, after so long, I finally decided which one I'm gonna use. This one is not what I'm gonna use. This one is called, I think, Ilford XP2 Super 400. That sounds like a Dragon Ball Z reference. But this is black and white. This looks amazing. I'm not using it today. It looks amazing. But what I ended up using was Prokudin Gorsky 1906. I went ahead and brought this down just because I wanted the I think in this case it might be pull. I wanted to pull a little bit stuff back because I didn't really like the colors a little bit too much on the outside. We're going to look at profile. We're going to leave it. I might leave it linear. Let's see these other options that we have. Okay, it's doing something. I don't know what the heck that. We'll leave that alone. We're gonna leave saturation the same, of course, because we're gonna let those colors pop. Now, in regards to film grain, that is what we all are here for. Now, in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and look through these different options. You have 8mm, 16, 35, 65. Typically, what you see nowadays, everybody goes for that film-like look. Depending on a lot of commercials use it nowadays, and a lot of fashion type of commercials, and they usually use 16mm. And of course, you have to do your own due diligence in regards to that, but each millimeter has its own look and style. Typically, a lot of the mass-produced or feature films typically are shot on 35mm. If you know about Oppenheimer, one of the greatest movies of 2023, you know, maybe the decade. Okay, we'll see about that. That one was shot on IMAX, and of course, Christopher Nolan always, he peak cinema. I'm gonna say that this entire time, peak cinema. In this case, I'm gonna look through these options. I want to leave it at 35mm just because it's kind of like the look I like more. 16mm has like a more depth to it, but in this case, I might just stick to 35mm. Looks a little bit cleaner, but of course, as you drop down the millimeter, it tends to get a little bit more grainier, more dirtier, and more grittier. In this case, I kind of do like that, but I might just stay with 35 just for now, and I'll look back on that just to see I'm already here, so let's test it out. Yeah, we're not doing 8mm. we know that. Let's try 16mm ISO 500, even though I know that's not what it was filmed at. It looks too grainy. Of course, you want it to look as natural as you. It depends on your stylistic choice. For this case, I don't want it too much grain or too gritty. Now we have that taken care of. Film grain, which you all were here for, and there's still more. But we also have halation. Halation is what we all typically we all find out in our own ways. Halation is like that. I think it works for like yellow, red, and orange type of colors. I would use this as an example, but it's not really that much color to it. But pretty much it's like that ring around the light that gives that glow, blowout type of effect. And I don't really have much lights that really are shown in the shot, so using halation isn't really much of a priority in this case. So we're gonna leave that alone. And bloom, I'm assuming is gonna be pretty similar as well. But a lot of these, I'm just gonna leave them as is, just because it's not really much I want to go ahead and change to it. But as you can see, Dehancer has a lot of different things you can work with and tweak with, and that's what I like about Dehancer. Even though this is my first time using it, I'm learning a lot just by going through it. I'm the type of person, now I should be reading manuals just to get to know it better, but I like to learn. I'm a hands-on type of person. You just throw me a manual, it's gonna take me out of it, but of course you need a reference. But in this case, I just like to go with the flow and see what I like and learn on the go. Now that will reach the end of this lack thereof tutorial, as this is my first time using it, and with this process that I've learned with Dehancer, it's great so far. And it's not just because I'm trying to get all kudos and stuff. I'm an honest person, and honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm a run and gun type of guy. I learn as I go, but I can't wait to go ahead and use Dehancer for future projects. And actually, Dehancer reached out to me to go ahead and review this, and I'm an honest person, so I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Whenever I say keep it, I always keep it a buck. When I keep it a buck, when I say I'm being honest, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I have completely no idea how to use Dehancer in regards to like adding more to it, because it's my first time using it. And what I filmed tonight was off of the whim because I knew I was going to make a video about this. So in this case, I have a lot to learn, and I can't wait to learn this. And I've always loved that film look. I see all over TikTok, all over YouTube, and there's a lot of people who use that film look very well. In this case, I decided to use the Final Cut plugin just because I have a PC. I'm trying to use it for DaVinci, and it's been having issues. And all of the short films that I usually make on the go, and even the short film Denouement, that one is filmed on or edited out on Final Cut Pro. And in this case, I'm just going to stick with that. So I decided to do it with the Final Cut Pro plugin rather than DaVinci, because I'm still learning that as well, and there's a long way to go with that. Thank you all for watching the video. I'm just very grateful. You don't know how much it means for me to be back on this camera, to be making content. And you know, I'm somebody that tries to work on my view on repetition. I'm a very spontaneous person, so in this case, to get back in front of the camera is something I've been longing for months. Even though, you know, I'm technically on camera when I make my short films, but to sit here and talk to y'all and really build this community up, it really means a lot. I love you. I love each and one of you. And yeah, if you want to go ahead and use Dehancer, guess what? Because they reached out to me, your boy got a license, and it's in a little, you know, it's a little bit of an affiliate, you know. It's a little bit of affiliate. So in this case, it means a code. I got my first ever code, discount code of 10% off at checkout, Kinetic M10. Kinetic M10. It means a lot. It means a lot to have this opportunity. I'm gonna go ahead and support the channel and where this channel is gonna go and future projects, because this mind is always racing. I don't want to give out too much, but I got several screenplays in the works, and you know, you're always working, and I have a lot of short film ideas, and even after this one, it just doesn't stop. I'm non-stop. I keep going, and I just love this too much to stop. Thank you all for watching the video. I can't wait to see y'all again and be face to face. And actually, now that I just thought about it, when it comes to Dehancer, they told me that they have an iOS, I think it's iOS, but they have an app for Dehancer. So in the future video, look out for that. An iPhone test, and I'm gonna use my iPhone 15. I already cracked the screen. Don't get at me, but hey, look at this case though. Yeah, you know, it's a really nice phone. Thank you all for watching the video. Like I said, I love y'all. Can't wait to see you in another video. Have a blessed one. Take care of yourselves, and peace.